Welcome to the Higher Ed Retire Podcast with your host, Greg Shepard. Greg is a fee-only financial advisor who specializes in helping those in higher education to take control of their retirement. Since 2001, Greg has helped employees all over the country make the most of their retirement plans.
Hey there, folks. I really do appreciate you tuning in today. Again, my name is Greg Shepard, and I've been specializing in helping those in higher education navigate through their retirement plans, since 2001 now. Today I've got a rather fun podcast to share with you. I'm going to piggyback off of a previous podcast I did a while ago regarding brokerage link accounts. Now, the reason behind this particular podcast is that I have received many, many phone calls and equally, if not more, emails regarding all this volatility that we're going through. You know, today we're at the end of April here, and so we're going through this coronavirus market volatility, and people are wondering what to do in terms of how to invest. Not necessarily how to invest, but how do they gain access to particular asset classes, whether that be healthcare, energy, biotech, technology funds, you name it. Most likely you cannot get access to these types of investments within your, what I call, core retirement plan. So today I'm going to share with you how to do that, how I've been doing this for my clients for a number of years, okay? It's going to be through what's called a brokerage link option. And I'll tell you what, if you have trouble conceptualizing this, maybe not conceptualizing this, but executing this within your retirement plan, I want you to give me a call. I want you to email me, okay? Go to higheredretire.com. You can find my contact information there. My email is greg@shepardfinancial.com. Shepard is S-H-E-P-A-R-D. Phone number 913-521-2381. That's my office in Kansas City. I'd be more than happy to help you out. You don't necessarily have to be a client for me to help you out. I do it all the time. Okay, so let's move on here. As you may already know, most higher ed institutions, at least the ones that I deal with, have what I call their core retirement plans. This may be in a 403B or a 401A. In these core retirement plans, you are restricted to the amount of mutual funds you can invest in. The board will basically approve what is allowed within their retirement plan. Of course, you're going to have one main vendor in your retirement plan. The two big boys at play here, you got TIA, which is TIAA, and Fidelity, which I deal with both of those vendors exclusively. Not exclusively, but a lot within higher ed retirement plans. So in that core retirement plan, you're going to have mutual funds ranging from 10 to 30 choices or so, kind of depending upon, like I said, your employer's plan. So as an investor, you're not able to get into those sectors, okay? So now, like I mentioned, here we're in the midst of the market volatility, and all of a sudden you want to invest in ABC sector, whatever that sector is. How you go about doing this, and before I get into it, what I want to do is urge you to go back and listen to a podcast that I did do earlier, like I mentioned, regarding brokerage link accounts, and that's going to give you all the ins and outs, the advantages, the disadvantages, which aren't many, of how and why to go about brokerage link, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and give you some highlights and just some quick advantages of this. The nuts and bolts of how to do it, you need to go back to that podcast prior and listen to that one, or just contact me and I can hold your hand through it. So let's get one thing straight first. The brokerage link accounts are only for your voluntary retirement plan, not your mandatory plan. There's a reason I emphasize this, because I get, like I said, phone calls and emails from people saying, great, I want to go into the brokerage link account. I want to invest in healthcare, technology, whatever the case is. Let's do this. Well, the first question I ask, do you have a voluntary retirement plan? Usually the answer is, I do not know. And then I ask, well, is the employer putting into the plan? And we start digging into it and come to find out they only have a mandatory account or some sort of pension. All right, so it's off the table if that's your only account. You have to go above and beyond what the mandatory retirement plan is, which is called the voluntary. The voluntary account is where you access the brokerage link account. Inside this brokerage link account, which, by the way, is still a 403B or a 401A, whatever your employer has. Okay, you're not changing the type of account. It's just literally calling it a brokerage link account. You actually use what I call the core 403B or 401A as almost like a funnel, if you will. Think of it as a window. Your payroll goes through your core 403B and kind of gets dumped into this Brokerage Link account. But the main advantage of this Brokerage Link account is now you've opened this investment portal, this investment window, where you're going to have thousands of investment options, literally thousands of investment options. And I tell you what, I'll add one advantage to this. If you have a 401A, okay, I deal a lot with institutions that have a 401A. Not only have you opened the window, the portal, to thousands of investment options, you've also allowed yourself to invest in what's called ETFs. I'm not going to get into ETFs right now, but they are a very popular way to invest these days. Can be a very inexpensive way to invest, especially when you're talking about sectors. So I think those that have 401As have a little bit of an advantage over the 403B account holders, but the 403B account holders can still get into the Brokerage Link. You can only access mutual funds, which is not a bad thing, especially with the decrease of costs within mutual funds these days. Okay, so we got access to thousands of mutual funds, and by the way, a lot of those mutual funds are free to get in and out of, okay? I get some pushback from several different kinds of people telling me, yeah, the Brokerage Link is great, but I got to pay $40, $50, $60 for a trade. Yeah, that may be true if you buy the wrong investments. Probably not $60, but maybe like a $20 ticket charge, something like that. Folks, I've been using Brokerage Link for probably going on 15 years or so. I've never paid a ticket charge for an investment, and I've never had any problems getting into investments that I want to get into. Okay, so now you have thousands of investment choices, but more to the point of this podcast is during this volatility, let's say you want to invest in, I don't know, I'm just making these things up, biotech investments, okay, biotech companies, for obvious reasons. They're kind of on the front lines trying to create these vaccines and other things related to the virus. Well, you can't do that in your core account, but you can in your Brokerage Link. Maybe you want to get into just general healthcare type investments or technology because they've been beat up. It does not matter. Or you want to get into gold, okay? Energy. I just keep going down the list, all right? There's probably not a sector that you can think of that you can't get access to in the Brokerage Link. I can't emphasize this enough. Every employee of higher education that has a voluntary retirement plan and a 401, 403B should at least explore the option of opening a Brokerage Link account. I cannot think of a downside. Maybe the only downside is if you're not comfortable doing this by yourself, it can get a little tricky, okay, the logistics of it. But again, that's why I'm here. That's why other fee-only financial advisors are there to help you out. And I tell you what, a lot of these Brokerage Link accounts are offered through TIAA and Fidelity. Through experience, I've had employees go straight to those reps of those companies, and they're not going to be thrilled to help you out with these Brokerage Link accounts, okay? Because it just opens up not necessarily Pandora's box, but it creates a lot more work logistically for them. And folks, they are salary. I couldn't think of the word. Salary employees, which is fine, but they're employees of TIAA and or Fidelity. I am employee of you, my client, okay? I am truly looking out for your best interest. And you should be doing the same thing for your investments as well. And in my opinion, Brokerage Link is the option, is the way to go for just about any. I don't know why. Now, here's a catch up. I'm kind of getting off topic here, so forgive me. But if you wanted a fixed account, you're not going to be able to find that within the Brokerage Link account. What I'm trying to do is find, a downside of this. But for those that just want a very stable, fixed, guarantee account, you're not going to find that in Brokerage Link. So there's the downside, I guess. But if you want sectors, man, you don't have a better option in your retirement plan than this Brokerage Link window. Folks, I've been talking a lot here. I'm hoping you're getting some information out of this on how to get into that Brokerage Link and why. I'd be more than happy to hold your hand through that process. Remember, you don't have to be a client of mine. Feel free to give me a call at the office. That's 913-521-2381. That's my Kansas City office. I deal with employees all over the country. My email is greg@shepherdfinancial.com. You can find more podcasts on my website. That's www.higheredretire.com. And folks, don't be shy. I personally am not shy about helping those out, again, that aren't clients. If you want to kick around some ideas of investing, on what to invest in sectors I like, I hesitate giving investment advice over the podcast airways for obvious reasons. But if you want to call me and chat about things, I'm more than happy to give you my opinions and all that good stuff. So folks, I'm going to leave it there. Feel free to tune in to my other podcasts as well. I know you'll find very, very, very informative information in those podcasts too. All right, folks, my name is Greg Shepard with Higher Ed Podcast. You all be safe out there. Remember, you need to take control of your retirement today. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Higher Ed Retire Podcast. Just because this episode is over doesn't mean you can't continue your retirement journey. Please visit www.higheredretire.com to see how you can work with Greg or to simply ask him a question. Thanks again.
S&A Financial Services is a registered investment advisor. Information presented is for educational purposes only and does not intend to make an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and/or tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed herein. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.